Hey, how's it going? Today we're gonna go over how to draw Eren from Attack on Titan. Basically the Attack Titan, but Eren is the kind of vessel for this. Is Attack on Titan. I love that anime, so let's go over it. This should be easy and simple and for beginners. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the pencil layer. It's a very simple layer. You can do this in anything, and then I'm gonna go over kind of a layer I'm gonna do with pen, and I'll go over that as we get to it. So right now, let's go over the first layer pretty much. Right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw pretty deep because I'm gonna throw another piece of paper over it. The paper I'm using is regular printing paper, so just any 8.5 by 11 regular printing paper. Gonna draw a circle here for his head, basically the head area. And I'm gonna draw straight down to his shoulders. I'm gonna find kind of like the shoulder line across here. I'm just gonna draw through it because again, I'm gonna replace this. What I'm doing is I'm building a framework for his body and stuff. Draw a circle here for the shoulder, and he's just gonna have his arms downward to the side because he's a giant, and a lot of it, like, you are kind of like staring at it mostly, his upper torso and stuff like that, but not always. And I'm gonna pull a straight line down for the middle of the torso. And I'm gonna pull over here for the other side of the arm. It's just gonna be down as well. I'm thinking of the arms as tubes, by the way. If you think about it as tubes, it's just a whole lot easier. And usually he's kind of like always got that distraught kind of, just kind of like, I don't know. He gets beat up a lot, at least in the anime. I noticed for being like the hero of our story, he gets beat up a bunch. But I think I do like that because there is a lot of tension. Like, you have no clue if he's gonna win or not, and he kind of pulls through sometimes, usually. So we got our general framework here. It's really simplistic. We're thinking of everything as tubes and cylinders and circles. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the head right now, and I'm gonna find a couple of things of the head. Number one, I'm going to find the top of the chest area with a straight line. That means this would go pull back a little bit. I'm going to find the bottom of the chin here, pull up, and I'm going to start kind of finding the shape of the head and the center line of the head here. And I'm going to find kind of the hair shape as well. I'm going to think of the hair shape as big hair shapes. He has this pointed ear that sticks out of his head. And I'm drawing very thick, right? I'm drawing very dark because what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to throw this layer underneath another piece of paper. I'm going to find kind of this lens shape right here for kind of the eye socket and the nose. Over here, finding more of the hair shape. And then finding that large hair shape in the back. Center line right here. He has he's like super ripped, that character. So he's gonna have all the abs and all that. Excuse me. I cough there. And he has like a double like tooth cylinder thing going on, where he's got like teeth on top of teeth. It's pretty weird. Or it's like on the front here, and then it goes up over here. I'm just putting square shapes. Like I said, it looks like a total mess right now, but I'm trying to find, like dark shapes to represent what's gonna go on. So that is my framework, okay? So next step, we're gonna throw a piece of paper on it, and I can see right through that. And now that I can see right through it, I'm gonna go into it with like a pen. I'm gonna go into it with a micron. You can go into it with whatever you want, whatever size you want. But maybe even like a thin marker So it's really kind of your decision what you want to use. But like I said, if you wanna, what do you call it? Suggestion. I'm gonna put the suggestions in the description. Actually, I'm not gonna use a micron. I'm gonna use this probably. No, actually, I'm just pulling out stuff at random here. I'm probably gonna use something relatively thin so that you can kind of see it on the paper. But I'm also gonna like trace it out. Probably gonna use this micron. So what I'm going to do first is now I have my framework, right? When you build a building, you have your frame and then you go over it with the nice stuff. That's what I'm going to do here. That's what we're doing in drawing. We're going over it in steps. And then I'm not preoccupied with proportion, you know, or stance. I do that part in this last layer, right? And I put a piece of paper, and this is a regular piece of paper. There's no tracing paper, regular printer paper. That's why I drew so dark. Now I can see the way he's standing, but without the detail. Now all I can think about is the detail. So the first thing I do is I'm probably gonna go into the hair, because the hair is, you know, important. And I think it's also really close to us too, kind of goes over a lot of stuff. It'll go like over his face, right? It goes over his face. So a lot of that is gonna be on top. So I wanna work my way from outer to inner shell in a way. And I'm just kind of going down. Gravity's really working on his hair because, you know, it's just kind of this straight hair going down. He's got like that same kind of like link hair, that kind of, I don't know how to say, I don't know how to describe it, but I always think of like Link from The Legend of Zelda. He's got that style haircut. Going over the top here. So that's kind of the top layer, but I'm not going to go into the full detail of that yet. I'm going to go into the eye, right? And it's going to have like a furrowed brow. And just kind of drawing that kind of evil furrowed thing going on. Not evil because he's not evil, but he's got that kind of angry kind of look, and his eye is in the middle of this very dark area, and that's kind of a big thing with all ominous characters, with anime or not. There's always this the light of the eye inside of a very dark area of the eye socket. And we're just kind of outlining it. I'm not full-blown filling anything in yet. And so I'm going to go into the nose here. And the nose is really more or less just like a, I don't know how to say it, like maybe a bit of a bloated triangle. In manga, they tend to use, in manga and anime, they tend to use that triangle nose a lot. Not always though, because some do it outright. Like if you look at like Pokemon, that like it looks like a check mark, to be honest. Like I don't really like that look. It's okay. It is what it is, because it's, you know, more about the story and stuff like that. I just don't like that drawing style. And then Dragon Ball does that a little bit as well. I'm a gigantic Dragon Ball fan. Pulling back here. See, so now we got the nose. And he's got this kind of, I don't know how to say this, but infinite grin thing going on, because he's got like no lips. He just has teeth going down here. I remember watching this anime for the first time. I was so freaked out because I never read the manga. I don't really read manga. I tend to watch anime. I started reading this manga after I saw the anime, and then I stopped because it made the anime less enjoyable when they came out with season 2 and 3, and because there was kind of like a lot of spoilers in it. So I was like, oh, I'd rather just watch it play out in the anime a year later. I'm just more of like, I just like watching it played out in motion and sound and all that. Going back over here, going to the edge of the mouth, and he has like this kind of smiling thing going on. This like creepy, it looks like a smile at the end, right? Because like everything, all the skin's missing and stuff, except for that skin at the end right there. Going down here, and I'm gonna find where the mouth parts, right there. And I'm gonna start putting in, see in small, I'm gonna start putting it to the teeth. I can say the word the teeth. The words the teeth. Right there, I'm gonna start putting in those teeth slowly as they're jammed in there. And I'm gonna open the mouth just a little bit. I'm gonna have like the mouth a crack open, you know, just to kind of, I don't know, show some a little bit more natural, even though he tends to have it closed a lot unless he's like yelling in anger, and he like very Hulk-like where he is very angry a lot. And that's usually what that was like a lot of his what do you say that that's kind of the catalyst to him turning, would be like this anger, or you know, there's a situation that they just can't get out of. And that's usually where, and that's like that in a lot of properties, right? It's that moment of despair, or that moment where like all is lost and they finally, you know, they turn into, you know, the creature or whatever that, you know, they, or the power comes out that they need, right, to get out of that situation. And it's pretty heroic, and I love moments like that. I'm really big on moments like that. That's all over, again, not to mention the same thing I'm a big fan of. The Dragon Ball, that's all over Dragon Ball. It's all over a lot of properties, you know. Pulling the hair over there on the far side, pulling back here. He's got a bit of a pointed chin as far as like a human goes. Pulling up here. And I can't forget about that pointy ear sticking out, because that is such a big thing in his type. He has that pointy ear sticking out of his hair. I guess I could put it on the other end too, to be honest. He's got that like Spock ear going on. Just going down here, and I'm finding some ways to end his hair in like, how do you say that? Like in, I don't know, like an attractive way. Like as far as like shapes go, I'm looking for ways to end his hair, if, you know, hopefully that kind of makes some sense. I'm going to put in his pupil and iris. Gonna go right here to the teeth, and I need to fill in this opening in his mouth. I'm not gonna do it with this. I'm gonna go back later, maybe during the time lapse, and just kind of go over it. I will time lapse this eventually. Sorry if I know people like it time lapsed. If you want to see time lapse videos, like a bunch of them, go to I'll probably link it. There's a Facebook page I made called 3-Minute Drawings, and so what I take is I take all these tutorials and I speed them up to 3 minutes for your viewing enjoyment. It's more for, you know, like seeing every step of the way. It's also just for like inspiration. If you want to wake up and you're like, I don't feel like drawing, just watch one of those and it'll probably get you inspired and ready to draw. I know for me, when I watch other artists, that, you know, that really gets me in the mood to draw. So that's pretty much what I made that page for. I wanted it to be a little bit different than the content on here, but you know, so it's just a different thing. So that's 3-Minute Drawings. It's just literally 3-minute drawings on Facebook. We have a lot of followers. We have like 10,000 followers for a Facebook page. That's, I think, a lot. I'll link it in the description. I'll put in the first link, but go check that out if you still have a Facebook. Yeah, good, really fun channel to work on. Honestly, I can just re-edit old stuff, kind of going back and really. So still here, going through here, trying to end that again in an attractive way. I might go into the hair a little bit more, just throwing in some locks, and I'm throwing in I'm thinking of gravity. That's obviously the biggest thing to think of. Thinking of gravity falling over the skull, right? So let's go down to the neck. The neck, there's a sternocleidomastoid, which is basically it is a cord-like muscle that goes from the back of the neck and it goes all the way down to the pit of the neck. So back of the ear, and then down to the pit of the neck. So you see that a lot in all kinds of anime, right? They have these huge cords, which It's weird because I don't see those in real life that much. I have to like see bodybuilders and stuff. Or if you look at Greco-Roman wrestlers or like wrestlers in the Olympics and stuff like that. Not wrestlers so much in WWE or anything like that, but they kind of do. But I think if you look at like real wrestlers, like actual wrestlers, they, you know, like Olympic wrestlers, they tend to have that muscle a lot because you need it to do certain things. But then there's some crossover, right? I think Kurt Angle was a real wrestler, like, so there's crossover. Brock Lesnar, same thing. All right, let's go. But I'm not gonna talk about that right now because this isn't a wrestling video. All right, pull up, out for the neck, and okay, so this Titan was never a steroid monster. He is jacked, like ripped and stuff, but I never saw him as like the Hulk or, again, even Brock Lesnar. You know what I mean? I never saw him as like a giant body type per se. He's just ripped. You know, he's not bulking big kind of thing. Like, I mean, proportionally, he's not bulking big. He's a giant, so he is big, but so that's kind of the way I'm going to draw him. His arms in proportion to his body is pretty close to just a regular human, right? You see dudes like this all the time. So that's the way I'm going to draw him. I'm going to try to keep him small as far as muscularity goes. So that's kind of a goal I have, is not to blow him out. So going down the middle of the chest here, and he's basically an anatomy chart from this point on. Pull up here, you got the rib cage. Pull over here. Finding a kind of a muscle shadow right there from the deltoid. The deltoid is split into 3 muscles normally. Tricep out there. Bicep here. So I'm gonna go over this a little bit more with a thicker, not marker, what do you call this thing? Like a pen after this, to kind of find the more dark areas. Right now I'm just going over line work first. Sometimes, and you'll see that, this is actually something I talk about a little bit, I put notes on the sped up videos, where sometimes, as far as the process of drawing goes, I will go from line art, I'll go from, okay, obviously construction, then I'll go into like line art, and then I'll go into dark shapes and then details. Sometimes I'll go to line art, sometimes I go from construction, which is underneath layer below this, then I'll go to dark shapes, and then I'll go to line art, and then I'll go to details. So it kind of depends on the design I'm doing or what it is that I'm aiming for, that really kind of, you know, dictates what exactly I'm going to do for that. So that's kind of also up to you as well. It's just, all of drawing is principles, not rules. Principles meaning, you know, this is something that has worked for a lot of people. It's the way, you know, it's a good way to work. A lot of professionals work that way, but it's not the only way, you know, but I'm saying that this is a very good way, and you know, you can kind of make your choice on which way you want to choose, you know, and also different methods work for different projects. That's another thing, you know, different ways for different like poses sometimes as well. But yeah, so if you look at like guys like Kim Jung-gi, is that his name, Kim Jung-gi, or Kim, I can't remember, I think it's Kim Jung-gi, where he draws no construction whatsoever. He just goes into it and draws, like, you know, like an eyeball, and then he starts, you know, drawing like, you know, out here, and he just has like this insanely detailed photo. I mean, that's not norm. That's not even norm for most professionals that I've seen. It's just, that is just his superpower in a way, that he does that above other artists. He seems to have this like weird photographic memory, that he does that, and he can do that without running right off the page, because usually that's what I would do. I would totally run off the page on accident. I'm just gonna see the hands right here, we're just gonna vignette them out. Going down here. All right, here. Oof. And on the abs here, he's got like an 8-pack or something like that. You get really ripped when you're a Titan, which I guess makes sense to some extent. Well, not really. I guess there's some of the Titans that are pretty fat and weird looking, right? Like that's the is that what we call dichotomy? Is that when you call it the extreme, right? You're looking at something like that looks harmless because they look creepy, you know, when they're like smiling and stuff, but they also look like big dumb babies, some of them. But they kill you, right? They eat you in a horrifying way, and it's like, whoa, dude, like what? I mean, that's the reason why they're so scary. It's because they look so goofy, but at the same time, they treat the subject matter so seriously, that's what I love about the anime and the manga, is that they treat the subject matter so serious, even though they look so goofy. Some of these Titans look so ridiculous, like really, really ridiculous out of context. But you take them seriously because you know in that world they're these giant killing machines, and you're like, oh wow, there's no way, like that thing's super dangerous, and you just saw you know, that thing eat like a horse and you know, a human, blood and guts and all that stuff coming out. So, and like extremely graphic detail. So I mean, it's kind of it's pretty wild like that, because if they're like actually scary, let's just say they all look like dragons or something, or they all look like him, like they all look like maybe Eren here. I think it would just not, it wouldn't be as attractive or as appealing. I feel it would just be too scary all the time. It'd be something about it would just, I don't know, it would lose the charm of it somehow. It just, at least for that world. But yeah, I think that's one thing that really just caught me off guard. We were just like, whoa! I think with the first scene of the first season on the anime, it was like, I think when Eren's mom got eaten, it looked that's where it like really. I guess that's the inciting incident of the whole anime. But you know, when his mom got eaten, it's like, whoa, dude! Like I am hooked. That was when I was hooked. Like that was episode 1, where I was like, what in the world? What am I watching? You know, like it was so crazy. Okay. Anyways, let's go into. I'm gonna go into this. So this is a little bit darker. That was a micron, and I can actually again put that in the. You know, put the Amazon link in the description if you want to buy those. Microns are really popular though. You can buy them anywhere. The label's totally worn off this. Micron, Pigma Micron. This is a Faber-Castell PITT artist pen I'm going to use. I'm going to mix them, I guess, which is like taboo. But the reason I want to mix them is because I kind of need to be honest. I don't have a brush. Okay, this brush is dying. Okay, well, no, it's not. I can kind of. Is this dying? Okay, now I can get a little life out of it. I'm gonna have to buy a new one of these soon. Whoa. If anyone wants to donate money to my what do you call it? My PayPal, I'm gonna put the PayPal link. I promise you, I only use, and people have donated to me, thank you so much, but I promise you, I only use that on on stuff for the channel, like markers, on editing, on like intros and stuff like that. I promise you. But if you want to donate to that, let me know, or just donate. That's down below. I'm super big on that. Only because I'm using so much. Because maybe you guys don't know, I haven't updated this channel in a while, but I've been updating my other channel 3 times every single weekday over on Easy Pictures to Draw, which is more of like a younger channel. It's a little different. The subject matter is very different. So And that's kind of it. Thank you for so much for watching. I sped up that last part. All I did really was kind of refine the lines all over the place. But thank you so much. I appreciate you watching, and hopefully you have a really good day. Let me know if there's some other characters you want to see, and don't forget to check out the free ebook in the links there. Talk to you later.